Hi, it's Saturday night, the 7th of November, and day 312 of my journey to business alignment. Now that I'm so close to finishing the website, more than ever, I'm living the dream. It's happening. It's in my head so much. I love it. I've started the work of integrating the Ontraport Membership Pilot Press plugin into my website, but it's just beginning. I am also doing the steps to get the forms set up so that they can link up to Ontraport and my website too. It's very, very, very exciting. So here's my power statement I had for this morning. Reach out to Ontraport and get the setup documents for setting up the membership piece to my website, and give those to Fahad and ask him to start and process the process of integrating the Ontraport Membership Pilot Press plugin system and connect it to my website. And I will study the system as well so that I can better understand it and communicate better with Fahad. In checking into all of the features of the Ontraport.com software platform, I certainly found out that there's a whole lot to this powerful software, and that's part of the challenge with it. It has so many parts, it's so often hard to get a handle on things and how to do them and where to click and what to do. There's a lot of things to learn, but there's lots of help and support. And the one big support that has been the godsend in their chat system is that it's a live person that can come and answer questions who knows a lot about the software program. So it's been fantastic. So anyway, here's what I've got on my to-do list for today, for Saturday. Right there, I got it done. Bam, done. I also got these extra to-dos done today. Got that done. And then another little one I had started right here. I got all those done. The most important task for today was to start integrating the Ontraport membership system to my website. I reached out to Fahad and Kashif both because I wanted to get their opinions of both of theirs and see what they can understand and what they knew before Monday rolls around. My fun task for today was to finish putting new tools and program logins onto new sheets and put them into this binder that I've got of all my logins. It's fantastic. And before the third task was to play around, my exciting task was to play around with Ontraport.com so I'm familiar with it going forward, especially as it relates to email creations and setting them up so I can do blasts. Before I get ahead of myself though, let me go over my end of the day success routine questions. Get honest with yourself, Marty. What didn't go well today? What could you have done better today? Did you wake up early and start strong? Well, I have to tell you, I got up at 10 to 8. I slept in over an hour, maybe an hour and a half for this Saturday. That's because I stayed up till midnight last night after that, and I got up early, so I was tired, but then I also watched football. And so getting up early this morning was because I stayed up to midnight after doing my video and all that kind of thing. So I was tired, so I slept in. Did you start your morning with power, however? Yes, I did. I didn't change my routine whatsoever. Were you productive throughout your day? You saw those pages, those pieces all done, many important things done. My goals are moving forward, so I showed up as the person I wanted to show up today, serving what would serve me best. And I spent some good time tonight with Kathleen. We're going, as we consider tomorrow, it's going to be a lovely, relaxing day with her tomorrow too. And here's my end of the day success routine accountability questions. Were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? In other words, did you keep your promises that you made this morning? Well, this morning I promised myself that I would go on Ontraport.com, like I said, and get the documents and find whatever links for the steps for integrating their membership system and connect it up with my website. I also promised I would connect with both Fahad and Kashif and get their input on it. And here's what I learned when I did. Fahad sent back a message reply saying, Marty, here's what we need to do. We need to create a new system. I checked and it's a simple one, but it contains a lot of information to be set up by you. Please create new system at the end. Based on the information you set up, I will then generate those pages and connect them to our website. That didn't quite make sense to me. I then got a message from Kashif, sent back a reply saying, currently you are using 5.5.3 version of WordPress, which is okay, it'll work. But all your files are set to be read-only, the pages for the website right now, and that's why you're seeing the error when you tried to install the Ontraport.com Pilot Press plugin in your WordPress admin. There seems to be a file permission setting from your host, so we need to change that setting. So I reached out to my web guy and I heard back from him. To begin working on integrating the membership system into your website, you need to get that fixed. So that's what I've been working on. I sent an email, I sent a text, and we'll find out what Cody does. Like I said, I send that out to Cody, who's my main web guy. I also have to watch a couple of support videos I got from Entreport.com chat this morning from that person I was on with, and that way I'll send that information to Fahad and Kasif Monday morning. But things are moving along, albeit slowly. It's going to happen. I promise you it's going to happen. The next question is, what movies did you watch during your mindfulness time today, Marty? Did you make time for them? And were there any new instant pre-play movies that your two amigos called up under the screen of your mind? And if so, what were they? Well, this morning, being that I slept in a little longer than usual, it pressed my mindfulness time later, and so I didn't spend a lot of time going to the movies during that mindfulness time. I didn't shortchange it, though. I watched my must-see TV favorite 5 movies, and I did my normal routine, only I started later. Later in the afternoon, I did watch some videos, however, but they were related to Entreport, and they were actually enjoyable and quite informative. It's given me more and more confidence in what I had bought into. It's great. I can't wait until I really know what I'm doing, and so I know more about. And I would say this, and learning what I'm supposed to be doing and how to do it. That's going to happen. It's coming along. My next question says, what's the one thing that would make all the difference going forward? What one thing that you could do better tomorrow, even if you went sideways getting the things done, you'd still feel like a success? What was that one thing? Well, once again, I have to say that until I launch my website, I really do think the one thing I can work on and improve on going forward is to continue working on my thought management, thinking right. And so with that said, here's what I came up with for my power statement for tomorrow, because tomorrow's Sunday. Today I will simply sharpen my saw again and enjoy the day with my wife, Kathleen. The next question I answer at the end of every day before I go to bed as part of my end of the day success routine is to ask myself, were there any mistakes or failures that I had today or that I made that I can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, I spent today trying to figure out how to use Entreport.com and where to set up the membership system and integrate it and connect to it and to my websites and getting information on the helps for Fahad and Kasif to take the next steps going forward so they can get it all set up early next week. Well, I was focused on that and didn't make any mistakes or fail at it. I was just learning and doing. I actually figured a lot out on my own, and I'm now just waiting on my web guy to fix the website settings. Like I said, once those are fixed, Fahad and Kasif can get on continuing working on this plugin to get it installed. I think that's the biggest part. The next question is, what was your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well today? Well, my biggest success today was my chat with Entreport.com's support gal and getting the information I got from her that I can now give to Fahad and Kasif. That is such a big thing. I kept the whole chat and saved it and copied it and sent that as a file attachment to both of them. I'm confident it will give them what they need so we can get hooked up and working right, just like it does on Jody Moore's website. So excited about that. Anyway, let's continue with my end of the day success routine. It's time to rate my day's effort. Reviewing today's effort and what I was able to get done today, I decided to give today's effort a 9. And that's because I worked at the speed of 9 today, of course, but it ran into that little glitch that my web guy has to look into. And so that slowed me down just a little bit. And so I don't feel I worked at my peak, but it was a very good day nonetheless. I learned a ton again. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that says when you associate massive pain to not changing now and massive pleasure to the experience of changing now, you create leverage for personal change. Most of us want to change something about ourselves or our circumstances or behavior, yet we just can't get ourselves to do it, right? The thing is, change is usually not a question of our capability. It's almost always a question of our motivation to make the change. If a gun was put to our temple and the person holding the gun said, "You'd better get out of that depressive state and start feeling happy right now or I'm going to pull the trigger," I bet we'd each find a way to change our emotional state for that moment under those circumstances, wouldn't we? So what this reveals is the fact that change for most of us is often a should and not a must. Or it's a must, but only someday down the road kind of must. The only way we're going to make a change now is if we create a sense of urgency that's so intense that we're compelled to follow through with our effort to change. We've all heard that statement, the fear of losing something is greater than the desire to have more. That's that intense motivation. Most change is tough. And it's even hard at times. And because it is, it's not a question of whether we can do it. It's a question of whether we will do it. And do what's necessary to make the change take place. And this, whether we will or whether we will not, simply comes down to motivation. That's so powerful. These principles lead to the next thing I'm grateful for, the law of motivation, which says you have the power within you to bring more of what you love into your life, whether that be financial security, business success, better health, or stronger relationships, but only if you can harness the motivation to do it. Motivation comes down to the twin powers that we've talked about. Pain and pleasure. Every change we've accomplished in our lives is a result of us changing our neuroassociations, or what I call our mapping, about what means pain and what means pleasure to us. Our mixed emotions about changing is often the culprit that sabotages us. Of course, we don't want to die from smoking. We don't want to lose our relationships because our temper is out of control. We don't want our children to feel unloved because we're too harsh with them. We don't want to feel depressed for the rest of our lives because of something that happened to us years ago in our past. We don't want to feel like victims anymore, do we? Yet we all fear change and the unknown. When we link pain and pleasure to the same experience, we create this mixed emotions state, which causes our brain to be uncertain as to what should we do. It takes us from utilizing our full resources to make the kind of changes that can happen literally in a moment when every ounce of our being is committed to it. What can turn this around? I'll tell you what can turn it around. Reaching a pain threshold. When we experience pain at such an intense level that you know you must change now, a point at which your brain says, I've had it. I can't spend any more of this like this. I can't spend another day dealing with this or feeling this way. I've had it. Well, next I'm grateful for Archimedes, who said, give me a lever long enough and a prop strong enough, I can single-handedly move the world. Leverage is absolutely crucial to creating any change and freeing yourself from behavioral burdens like smoking, drinking, overeating, cursing, emotional patterns like feeling depressed, worried, fearful, or inadequate. You name it. Change requires more than just establishing the knowledge that you should change. It's knowing at the deepest emotional and basic sensory level that you must change. You must change. Boy. If you've tried many times to make a change and you've failed to do so, this simply means that the level of pain for failing to change is not intense enough. You have not reached the threshold, the ultimate leverage. To summarize tonight's thoughts, here's a fantastic quote. He who has a strong enough why can bear almost any how. 20% of any change is knowing how, but 80% is knowing why. And so if we can gather a set of strong enough reasons to change, we can change in a minute, even if it's something we failed to change for years. So there you go. That's steps number 2 of the 6 steps to making real change, real lasting change. I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, it's time to go to bed. I'm right here at my laptop tomorrow night, but until I am, I wish you continued success. Good night.